Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
President Obama continues his trip in Southern California tonight, tying up traffic along the way.
Terror on a domestic flight after a passenger claims he's infected with Ebola.
An MMA fighter holds up in his Orange County home when authorities show up with an arrest warrant. He sends out a string of tweets while SWAT teams wait for him to surrender. Good evening, I'm David Ona.
And I'm Colleen Sullivan. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. President Obama spent the evening at actress Gwyneth Paltrow's house. It is the second stop on his whirlwind visit to Southern California. Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson is live in Brentwood, where traffic has been a mess all evening. Alex?
Colleen, traffic has been a mess all evening, but right now there's no traffic at all here. That's because the street is shut down. You can see the crowd, some people just right over here. Just a few moments ago, literally within the last 30 seconds, we want to show you some video of this. The president's motorcade just rolled right by us, leaving Gwyneth Paltrow's home down Mandeville Canyon now. It's heading up Sunset, which is closed as we speak. This has caused a lot of traffic all over this area, especially because there's only one way in and one way out of Mandeville Canyon. The phrase traffic nightmare may be a little overused, but this is a real traffic nightmare.
I've been here for an hour and a half.
And gone how far?
Not even a block.
All these folks are stuck due to a presidential fundraiser in their neighborhood.
I can't be in traffic for hours and hours because people want to have a fundraising.
It's going to be a long evening. Earlier, Sunset was shut down completely as President Obama's motorcade made its way towards the home of actress Gwyneth Paltrow. Paltrow told the president, quote, "You're so handsome, I can barely speak properly." Andy Hanley was inside as the president spoke.
His main message was the economy, winning back the Senate, helping equal pay for women.
Tickets to get inside the massive estate cost as much as $32,000.
Money out!
Protesters say that's way too high a price.
Our main message is that the power of big special interest money has corrupted our government and our elected officials.
Earlier, the president toured the Cross Campus in Santa Monica, a collaborative space for tech entrepreneurs.
Excellent. Well, it's fantastic.
He focused his message on young people, the so-called millennial generation.
So in some ways, entrepreneurship is in the DNA of this generation.
He says government needs to invest more in new technologies like the ones created at Cross Campus.
As clunky and as frustrating as government and politics can sometimes be, the fact of the matter is that it is still vital.
He pushed his plans for making college more affordable, increasing the minimum wage, and immigration reform, which is currently stalled in Congress.
It's anybody's guess how Republicans are thinking about this. If they were thinking long-term politically, it is suicide for them not to do this.
One entrepreneur offered the president a role in his company once he leaves office.
Help people.
You're offering me a job?
That's right.
Wow. I'd have to check out your perks.
We've got some new video we want to show you. These are some fighter jets that were scrambled over the San Fernando Valley. This is all because a small plane was intercepted that was flying from Bakersfield, a Cessna 340. It was apparently not following a flight plan, not communicating. The pilot eventually made contact with the control tower and then returned to Bakersfield. But a lot of people talking about that on Twitter, hearing those fighter jets. It was scary for people out there. As we come back out here live to Brentwood, you can see traffic just beginning to flow within the last few minutes. Many of these people have been kept away from their home for hours here, relieved to finally be coming back home. There will be some road closures right now between here and the Westwood area. That's where we expect President Obama to spend the night tonight. Tomorrow, he's going to head to the San Gabriel Mountains, where he's expected to declare 350,000 acres there a national monument. Reporting live from Brentwood, Alex Michelson, ABC7. Eyewitness News.
Boy, it is frustrating for a lot of folks who live around there. Alex, thank you for that report. And new developments in the Ebola outbreak, including Ebola scare aboard a domestic flight. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live in the newsroom with the startling video. Leanne.
David, certainly a frightening scare on that U.S. Airways plane after a passenger reportedly joked that he had Ebola. The drama left dozens of passengers stranded on the aircraft for hours as officials checked out that potential patient.
Here's the situation. I need everybody to sit down.
A warning from the flight attendant before crews dressed in hazmat suits board the plane. The drama unfolded yesterday on a U.S. Airways flight from Philadelphia to Punta Cana.
Please stay out of the way. Let them do their job. This is all new territory for all of us. I'm trying to keep you in the loop as best I can.
Airline officials say a fellow passenger heard the man, who was reportedly sick, joke that he had Ebola. The comment was made as the plane was about to land. The dramatic scene comes as hazmat crews in Dallas decontaminated the hospital where Thomas Eric Duncan died, methodically sterilizing machines and collecting everything Duncan touched, sending it all to an incinerator. Worldwide, concerns about Ebola and protecting healthcare workers are growing. In Spain, a nurse's aide is battling the virus, and 7 other healthcare workers are quarantined after treating an Ebola patient there. Hospitals in the U.S. now running drills, making sure workers know how to protect themselves. And 5 U.S. airports now preparing to start screening passengers arriving from West Africa, everyone on high alert. Back on that U.S. Airways flight, the fear running high after that passenger thought he made a joke about having Ebola. And passengers say they were held on the plane for 2 hours until officials confirmed the man did not have Ebola. Airline officials say they were simply following CDC guidelines. Live in the newsroom, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Leanne, thank you for that. MMA fighter Jason Mayhem Miller has been arrested after a 10 hours-long SWAT standoff in Mission Viejo. Deputies were trying to serve an arrest warrant related to alleged domestic violence and stalking. When deputies tried to take the fighter into custody, he ran back into his home and refused to come out. During the conflict, Mayhem sent out a series of tweets, even inviting the public to his home to witness the standoff.
It sounds pretty crazy. There's like pages of just stuff he's just posted today.
The situation ended after about 4 hours. Authorities blew the locks off the home's front door and Mayhem surrendered.
It was business as usual at Black Rock High School in Yucca Valley today after a student allegedly threatened to shoot and stab several teachers. Eyewitness News Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan spoke to the suspect's brother, who says the school district is blowing this incident out of proportion.
This is the student accused of threatening to kill 3 of his teachers, 18-year-old Matthew Ross. The picture comes from his Facebook page. The day after he was arrested, there was extra security on hand at Black Rock High School in Yucca Valley, just in case.
I'm scared because I have 3 daughters, 16, 14, and 6, and I can't even go to work and let them go to school without hoping and praying that nothing happens to them.
Parent Letitia Williams says she's now considering homeschooling her children after the threat. Police say it happened on Tuesday when a teacher at the school claims to have overheard Matthew Ross threatening 3 other teachers by name, saying he wanted to kill them. When deputies served a search warrant at his house, they say they found all of these weapons.
This was a very serious threat. When we interviewed the teachers who were mentioned in the threat, they were afraid to come to work that day. They locked their classrooms that day.
We went to the suspect's house where we were confronted by his brother, James Ross.
He is temperamental, but he's no threat to society. He's a good kid.
But James Ross insists it's the school district that's blowing this way out of proportion.
There was an incident at school where the teachers decided to enforce the no sleeping rule, and I can understand and respect that, but he was approached in a very disrespectful way and unprofessional way, and he got enraged and basically let the teachers know he didn't appreciate it, and to an extreme way.
In Yucca Valley, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Ross is currently in jail. His bail has been set at $50,000. It's also important to note that while 3 teachers were threatened, no threats were made towards students.
An hours-long standoff at a Torrance Super 8 motel is over. Authorities say they found the suspect dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. 27-year-old Timothy Thomas was suspected of kidnapping his ex-girlfriend at gunpoint in Redondo Beach. She was able to escape unharmed. Guests were evacuated from the motel during the standoff. Meantime, a search is underway for 2 people kidnapped from a McDonald's in downtown LA. The kidnapping happened around 8:45 last night. The suspect getting away in a late 1980s model white BMW with a red convertible roof and rims. The car was last seen heading southbound on the 405, possibly to San Diego. Police are investigating this as a possible human smuggling case. They say the suspect demanded $16,000 in ransom from the victims' families.
Officials now say sparks from a vehicle started a deadly wildfire in Yosemite National Park. This as crews continue to battle several wildfires that merged into one, burning in Placer County. That 420-acre brush fire is 20% contained. The blaze began yesterday as 7 separate fires along a freeway. It has burned 5 homes and several outbuildings. 1,000 homes are threatened and many more are under mandatory evacuation orders. Yesterday, California's fleet of air tankers was grounded after one of the planes crashed in Yosemite National Park, killing the pilot.
Black leaders in Missouri are calling for a Justice Department investigation after the fatal shooting of a black teenager by a white St. Louis police officer. The 32-year-old off-duty police officer shot and killed 18-year-old Vonderett Myers last night. The shooting led to angry protests like the police shooting death of Michael Brown in nearby Ferguson. More than 20 black leaders and a state senator are questioning why the officer approached Myers in the first place.
I know tensions are high, but the reality is what we've seen, or what the evidence tells me right now, is an individual pointed a gun at a police officer, fired at least 3 rounds, and continued to pull the trigger.
The officer was not hurt and is on administrative leave while the case is being investigated.
A New York City fire captain accused of sexually assaulting 2 boys in Hollywood last month pleaded not guilty today. This is video of Wilbert Yetta in the gray sweatshirt from last month in New York. The judge set bail at $2.6 million and issued a restraining order barring him from contact with the 2 boys. Riara is due back in court November 13th. Reports by New York media state the New York Fire Department suspended him without pay for 30 days.
Up next, a shoplifter with an eye for the finer things. He's caught on camera robbing a Beverly Hills store. Now police want your help tracking him down. Plus this.
It was like, put your hands on the door. I was like, for what? I was like, this is my house.
Outrage after a young black man is pepper sprayed by police in his own home, and we're hearing from all sides.
What a beautiful day. Very seasonable. A cool night, though. As a result, temperatures, they're going up. The 7-day forecast details coming up.
The new kids on the block are now the new kids on the boulevard. I'm George Pinocchio, and I'll explain in tonight's Hollywood Wrap. Plus, sad news from the TV world. A former star of Saturday Night Live has died. Details next.
Caught on video, a serial shoplifter with a taste for the finer things. Surveillance video shows the suspect accused of stealing expensive purses and wallets from Beverly Hills boutiques. Police say he typically enters a store around lunchtime using a shopping bag to conceal the merchandise. He has his hair pulled back in long dreadlocks. The suspect is believed to have committed similar crimes in West Hollywood. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS, 1-800-222-8477.
A new guideline tonight raising more questions about police tactics. A foster child pepper sprayed in his own home, mistaken for a burglar. ABC senior national correspondent Jim Avila tells us what police and the family are saying tonight.
Foster child Deshaun Curry is family. Fits right in with his white siblings. But confused police pepper sprayed the young man in his own North Carolina home, mistaking him for a burglar after this 911 call.
I've seen some suspicious person walking around. There's a black kid.
Police found the surprised 18-year-old Deshaun coming down the living room stairs, his living room stairs.
It was like, put your hands on the door. I was like, for what? I was like, this is my house.
Police say they pepper sprayed the young man when he became belligerent, the latest in a series of incidents causing outrage. From Florida, where a Tallahassee grandmother was tasered to the street, to a South Carolina man shot 4 times after aggressively reaching for his driver's license.
Is there more police brutality, or are there just more cameras on the street? From the body cams the cops wear themselves to the dash cams in their squad cars, the bystanders carrying smartphones, and the surveillance cameras on the street corners. The truth is, we don't really know, because no one's keeping track nationally.
But police misconduct is expensive. Last year, New York paid $137 million in judgments and settlements. Chicago, $84 million.
It's taxpayers who end up forking over the dollars.
Painful and frightening for the victims, costly for the rest of us. Jim Avila, ABC News, Washington.
And look at this, a dramatic rescue in Arizona, and it's all caught on camera. This white van was trapped in a flood in Apache Junction. The driver had to climb out to the window, or of the window, to a waiting fire truck. More than 1.5 inches of rain fell in the area this morning. Floodwater stranded several cars as neighborhoods looked like rushing rivers. What a mess.
Wow, well, we're starting to feel a little more like fall.
Yeah.
Little.
That was weird.
It's cool outside.
Right now it is.
I love it.
Yeah.
You like it? You like it? Okay, glad I can make you guys smile, because temperatures are going to be tomorrow about the same. Got about another day of this before things heat up. Hey, with fall in mind, check it out. Some fall colors from Johnny H. Picture sent in from Colorado. What do you think, you guys? Nice? Make you think of fall? Yeah, I love that. Reminds me back home in Boston. Seen the leaves change. Very nice. Okay, today was very seasonable. Only 80 in Anaheim. I love this. 82, Studio City. Good evening. Arcadia was 83 for you today. You're high in Apple Valley. It's also right around average. So 69 right now in the valley as we stay there. 69 in Burbank. Light winds. Head over to the coast by the airport. 68 degrees. So a cool evening ahead. And as we go through tomorrow, temperatures will be very similar to today. Right around 70, give or take. In fact, 70 is one of the warmer temperatures in most areas. Here, otherwise, in the upper 60s. 86 still, though, in Palm Springs. Good evening to you. And we do have 74 in Palmdale. This was this morning into this afternoon. Had that little Catalina eddy spin up and keep the clouds. Now, low cloud cover, the marine layer in place for a lot of us. And we'll have the same thing tomorrow, except maybe some of the inland areas seeing the clouds burn away a little sooner. And I think tomorrow with high pressure starting to build in and this area low pressure moving away, and the next one moving away by late tomorrow, we'll have temperatures actually a little bit warmer in some inland areas. Otherwise, about the same before it steams up for the weekend. So this is the overall picture right now. Area low pressure right here. All right, that's going to be spinning on in for tomorrow, and that'll be the last of it before that high builds in. I can show you all of this right here in that future scan. There you go. This is Friday into Friday, 6 p.m. You see this right here. That's that trough, that next one that moves in. And then high pressure off to the west will build in late tomorrow through Saturday and Sunday. And what does this mean? It means a warm-up for the weekend. It will get hot. It's not going to be a strong heat wave like we saw recently. But temperatures will still be back above average for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But for tomorrow, more of the same we had today. Day planner waking you up to about 64. We're at 77 by noon. Very seasonable. It might take a little time for some of those clouds to burn away from the coast into some of the valleys. But most of us should see some of that sun breaking through by let's say about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Highs tomorrow, 79 Los Angeles, 84 in Glendale, a little bit warmer for you in Glendale than you saw today, 89 Riverside, 73 Dana Point, Oceanside, 74, 70 forecast. 7-day for LA, Metro and Orange County, powered up by AccuWeather. 79 tomorrow. Here's the warm-up for 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then a big cool down next week. We are well below average by next Wednesday and Thursday. Something to look forward to if you enjoy the cool stuff. Valleys, IE, 87 tomorrow, and then you're in the 90s for 3 days, a mini heat wave of sorts, and then you're down to the upper 70s by next Thursday as a big tropical low pressure pushes in the mountains. You're going to see some freezing temperatures in the morning by next Thursday. Until then, beautiful, right around 38 or so in the morning and 70 in the afternoons, and the high desert looking good, right around 90 for most of the forecast until next Wednesday and Thursday. This is a big cool down. It's going to be our first feel of real fall by the end of the 7 day. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. In tonight's Hollywood Wrap, the latest Walk of Fame inductees.
Plus a George Clooney surprise, but first a sad loss in the comedy world. Here's George Pinocchio with the details.
This lady was a standout when she was on this show. Former Saturday Night Live star Jan Hooks is dead at the age of 57. Jan's agent confirms her passing to Eyewitness News. However, information involving the cause of death is not yet being disclosed. Hooks appeared on SNL from 1986 to 1991. She also starred in the final 2 seasons of Designing Women. Movie fans now, they may remember her for her role as Tina in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Hooks, who was also a member of the Groundlings, was known for her big smile. Jordan, Jonathan, Joey, Donnie, and Danny, the 5 guys who make up New Kids on the Block, have been enjoying pop stardom for 30 years. Those boys from Boston were welcomed to Hollywood today with a special honor, their own star on the Walk of Fame. Fans who have been screaming for the New Kids on the Block since the 80s turned out in droves to cheer on their favorite fivesome, and the good feelings were returned from the band.
We wanted someone to share this journey with. You know, we can write 1 million songs. Thank you. We can wear the best clothes. We can go on 1 million TV shows. We can do dance steps till we're blue in the face. Without you, it means nothing.
The 5 New Kids have sold more than 80 million albums worldwide over the course of their career. Newlywed George Clooney made a surprise visit to New York's Comic-Con today. Clooney crashed the panel discussion and first look for his upcoming Disney-produced movie Tomorrowland. George was not scheduled to appear at the event. He brought the Comic-Con crowd to its feet when he did show up after co-star Hugh Laurie, director Brad Bird, and screenwriter Damon Lindelof had already taken the stage. Clooney said, "It is not lost on me that I am spending my honeymoon at Comic-Con." If you want to see the new Tomorrowland trailer, go to ABC7.com. Coming up tonight on the news at 11, Jeremy Renner.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to that.
He's a good one.
Yep. Okay, George, thank you. Up next, if you thought the drought was going to hurt California why you were apparently wrong.
Plus, a fan accused of pointing a laser at the face of an NFL quarterback has been tracked down, how police found him, and the trouble he's in now.
And new details from the investigation of a fight at an Alaska house party involving Sarah Palin's family. The man believed to have pointed a laser at players during Sunday's Bills-Lions football game has been caught and cited. During the game, Detroit quarterback Kyle Orton and others could be seen complaining to the ref that someone was shining a laser in their eyes. It was Bills fans who cracked the case. They found the tweets from someone named Marco Baselek boasting, quote, "You see a green light on any of the Bills players, just laugh because it's me," and got Kyle Orton complained to the ref when I got him with a laser. Detroit police found him, confiscated the laser, and cited him for disorderly conduct. By the way, the Bills won the game.
We all know the drought has been bad for California agriculture, but there's one possible exception, the wine industry. According to growers in Napa and Sonoma, the warm days and dry weather tend to produce tastier grapes. The reason is simple. With less water, the vines produce smaller berries, which result in higher concentrations of flavor. In fact, some growers say the past 3 years have produced the best grapes since 2007 to 2009, the last time we were in a drought.
We're updating the evening's top stories next at 8:30, including the latest on President Obama's Southern California visit, how it could affect your morning commute, plus this.
It's been amazing. It has helped ease the pain of a very bad event.
A Newport Beach lifeguard who gave his life trying to rescue a swimmer is posthumously awarded a Medal of Valor. When Eyewitness News returns.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, President Obama spending the day here in Southern California. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ono. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 in LA56. And tonight, he was at the Brentwood home of actress Gwyneth Paltrow attending a dinner benefiting the Democratic National Committee. Traffic was at a standstill with rolling road closures all over the west side, and more closures will be in effect tomorrow. Hillgard Avenue in Westwood will be closed between LeConte Avenue and Weyburn Avenue until 6 p.m. on Friday.
A frightening scare on a U.S. Airways plane after a sick passenger reportedly joked that he had Ebola. This is a YouTube video of the intensive response on the plane, which was headed from Philadelphia to Punta Cana. When the plane landed, a medical team in hazmat suits moved in under guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The flight was checked by officials and later cleared. This comes as 5 U.S. airports prepare to start screening passengers arriving from West Africa.
Newport Beach lifeguard who gave his life trying to rescue a swimmer from huge waves this summer is posthumously awarded a Medal of Valor. The 32-year-old drowned in the high surf, and today his heroism was recognized once again, and his family was there to accept on his behalf. Orange County reporter Greg Lee has the story.
An emotional day for Chris and Terry Carlson. 3 months after laying their 32-year-old son Ben to rest, they accepted the highest honor given out by the United States Life-Saving Association in his name.
It's so appreciated by our family. It's really helped to ease the pain of a very bad event on July 6th.
On July 6th, the Newport Beach lifeguard jumped off a boat to rescue a swimmer in distress. He was hit hard by a massive wave and drowned. The swimmer made it back to shore safely. Now, Carlson's sacrifice is being honored with the Medal of Valor. Only 41 people have received the award. Carlson, who was a Newport Beach lifeguard for 15 years, is the first to do so posthumously. His family says the humble lifeguard would have been shocked.
I don't know how he would have taken it, to be honest. Probably a little bit of disbelief that so much attention's been paid to it.
While his family and friends continue to honor his memory, lifeguards hope this tragedy reminds people to stay safe when in the ocean.
We wish he was still here, but we're hoping that people understand the dynamics of oceans and what lifesavers do.
That's part of the reason his family started the Ben Carlson Memorial and Scholarship Foundation. It's geared towards improving water safety and carrying out Ben's legacy of saving lives.
We can never say thank you enough. What he did saving that person's life was amazing, and we just wish that he was here to celebrate with us.
Reporting in San Clemente, Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The Ben Carlson Memorial Foundation has raised more than $50,000 in just a few months.
A special memorial today for a fallen LAPD officer. Los Angeles city leaders, along with law enforcement agencies, unveiled the LAPD Valley Traffic Division's Little Free Library and Officer Christopher Cortijo Memorial. Cortijo was killed in April in Sun Valley by a suspected DUI driver. In his memory, the library built the bookcase in shape of his motorcycle. The goal of the library memorial is to build greater sense of community and promote literacy, all while honoring Officer Cortijo. And today, a big win in the fight against Mexican drug cartels. Today, Mexican officials announcing the arrest of Vincent Carrillo Fuentes, the alleged leader of the Juarez drug cartel. Officials say the 51-year-old was captured in the northern city of Torreon. Both the U.S. and Mexico had million-dollar rewards for his arrest. This was the second capture of a major drug lord in the past 2 weeks.
As residents in a Syrian town at risk of falling to ISIS battle extremists for control, some Iraqis are showing their solidarity. Dozens of people in Kirkuk marched through the streets today in support of those in Kobani, Syria. They carried messages of encouragement and closed their businesses, pleading with the world to save Kobani from ISIS fighters. Meanwhile, in Kobani, fighting is intensifying as residents struggle to maintain control. U.S.-led coalition airstrikes also continue, although there are said to be fewer today. Meantime, tonight, the mother of the American hostage in the hands of ISIS is taking to Twitter in hopes of saving her son. She's making an appeal direct to the leaders of ISIS outraged at the U.S. government, saying they have given her, quote, no help. ABC's Brian Ross has her urgent plea.
For the parents of Peter Kasich, anguish and heartbreak have now turned to desperation. Almost a week since they issued a video plea to ISIS for the release of their 26-year-old son. It has gone unanswered.
We implore those who are holding you to show mercy.
Now Paula Kasich has taken to Twitter to send her message directly to ISIS, referring to her son by his Islamic name. I am an old woman, and Abdul Rahman is my only child. My husband and I are on our own with no help from the government, she wrote. We would like to talk to you. How can we reach you? Officials in Washington appeared stung today by the mother's message that the government was providing, quote, no help.
We have reached out to the Kasich family. It remains true that we are using all of our military, intelligence, law enforcement, and diplomatic capabilities to bring Peter home.
The Obama administration faced similar criticism from the parents of hostage James Foley after he was executed by ISIS in August.
The higher we went, the more difficult.
Right. And we were an annoyance, it felt at some levels, that, you know, they really didn't have time for us.
The attempts by other hostage families to reach out directly to ISIS leadership has only served to prove it is a group of murderers who know no mercy. In fact, some of the people who Mrs. Kasich sent her message to via Twitter responded today with predictable ugliness. You trying to ask me for help makes no sense. Had I the chance, I would have already killed him. U.S. authorities say that Kasich and the other Western hostages are still believed being held by ISIS in and around the stronghold of the city of Raqqa, although being moved on almost daily basis to obscure their location. Brian Ross, ABC News, New York.
Dutch officials say one passenger on the Malaysia Airlines plane that crashed in eastern Ukraine in July was wearing an oxygen mask. Authorities say the Australian passenger had the elastic strap around his neck. The Dutch National Prosecutor's Office is conducting the criminal investigation into the tragedy. The finding raises questions about what those on the plane knew before the crash. Some aviation experts say the plane appears to have been hit with a missile, killing all 298 people on board. The plane crashed where government troops fought Russian-backed separatists. New questions about whether the White House covered up allegations involving the Secret Service in a prostitution scandal during a trip to Colombia. That scandal led to the firing of several Secret Service agents. The White House then and today deny anyone on the team was involved with prostitutes. Today, Utah Representative Jason Chaffetz says information from whistleblowers and details in the Washington Post give thorough and compelling evidence that a volunteer of the White House advance team did have a prostitute in his hotel room during the trip. The lawmaker says he wants to give the White House an opportunity to respond.
No charges will be filed in connection to a fight that broke out at a birthday party attended by family members of former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. Police released their report today on the September 6th brawl in Anchorage, which allegedly involved Palin's two daughters, Bristol and Willow, and her son, Track. The report showed the three were drunk and part of the brawl. Witnesses say 23-year-old Bristol Palin punched the homeowner several times. They also say Todd and Sarah Palin were there, and the Palin family was asked to leave. No arrests were made at the time because no one wanted to press charges.
And just ahead, Dodgers skipper Don Mattingly speaks out to Eyewitness News about the Dodgers' early playoff exit and what's next for Big Blue.
Plus, students at a Long Beach flight school are outraged after they say the school took their money and then shut down.
Fantastic fall-like weather today, but we have another scorcher of a weekend ahead in your forecast. How hot will it get? Details in 7 coming up.
2 dozen students of a flight school may have become victims of a scam. Not only were they left stranded, but now there may also be implications for national security. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez reports from Long Beach, where the students met with federal officials.
It was a dream of becoming pilots that brought them to a Long Beach flight school. 2 dozen students signed up in Indonesia for a 6-month course with an operation called Accessible Aviation International, as well as California Flight Center. Now students say they have been scammed and worse.
We don't know how to get help in this foreign country.
The individual fees they paid for housing, insurance, and instruction? A lot.
Close to 55,000, some is only 28,000, some is put about 38,000, but it's a lot of money for us.
But look at what we found today. The offices of their school empty, a pricey flight simulator left behind. The owner of the building tells us the school's operator, Mac Patel, left unable to pay any more rent.
I've been emailing them and calling them that we want to have a meeting with me and the rest of the students, and there's no news from them.
Today, the students met with a rep from the FAA and the Department of Homeland Security to see if any crime has been committed by the school which could threaten national security. Meantime, the owner, Mac Patel, tells us by phone that he is offering a partial refund. Students say Patel, though, is not communicating with them. They describe troubles that began just after this crash. A student was a passenger getting a lesson when it went down in Agua Dulce last June. The student, Faranita Gusnaide, survived and was transported to Henry Mayo Clinic. Today, she tells us the school was supposed to provide insurance, but didn't.
I had a broken skin on my forehead, fractured ribs, and broken leg and broken jaws. But the owner said, if you want us to take care of the insurance, just talk to my lawyer.
They worry about eviction from their student housing next. They have notices from this downtown LA complex that rent is due. Then there's the question of their student visa status. If their school no longer exists, will they have to leave the country with no resolution? Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Federal officials say they're looking into whether the operator has committed any violations of the law.
A family with 6 children has taken a month to drive across the country in an RV to improve the lives of those who are less fortunate. Greg Mercet's MyJobChart.com company website states it is an online tool to help parents teach their kids about work ethic, responsibility, accountability, and money management. He and his family arrived today at the Pasadena Ronald McDonald House to help families there. Merced explains the reaction from his children about the month-long tour.
I'd like to say they love every minute of it, but once in a while they gripe. But they've done really good, and they've worked hard, and they've really, I think, changed inside of themselves, which is really the point, right? It's to get kids outside of themselves and figuring out the world is a bigger place.
The Merceds help other families battling cancer and facing other obstacles.
Will we see red flag warnings just in time for the weekend? Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has his complete forecast next.
Plus, in sports, the Dodgers skipper talks about the season and the team's future in this story.
I'm in an engineering classroom, not on a college campus, but in a high school classroom in the inner city. And for this inner city community, this is absolutely groundbreaking. I'm Leo Stallworth. That story coming up.
Smile, you're on candid camera. This bear got trapped inside a vehicle in Castle Pines, Colorado. Surveillance video captured this image of him behind the wheel. He wasn't smiling anymore after getting trapped inside the car. The bear was squirming about and honked the horn, waking up the neighbors. They think he was looking for food.
We're very cautious about keeping our garbage inside and the bird feeders and those types of things. So as long as we're doing our jobs as humans, then hopefully the bears won't get aggressive towards us.
The bear didn't hurt anybody but destroyed the interior of the car. Wildlife officials were called in and set the animal free.
They're so powerful, too. They'll rip the window right off of a car and crawl right in.
And we had the mountain lion who was on the car. Was that last night? Something's going on with these animals. Trying to take these cars.
You think so? That's one theory, yes.
Wow. Mike's nodding his head. That means it's true. Okay. Hey, guys, we have a warm-up in store for the weekend. Not before another day of fantastic weather, though. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, radar sweeps heading around, giving you a live picture of what's outside, which is dry conditions, beautiful evening ahead. Temperatures today were right around average for just about everybody. It was 80 in downtown Los Angeles. Normally we are at 79. Tomorrow, about the same. Maybe a little warmer in some spots, but it's going to be another fantastic day to end off the work week downtown right now. 70 degrees, 52 at Big Bear. By the way, Big Bear, in your 7-day, freezing temperatures are in there. We'll look at that in just a second. All right, here's the board. Look at the spread. We got about 70 from Fullerton, downtown LA to Long Beach, 68 or so from Santa Monica to Oxnard, and 66 Santa Clarita. Temperatures down to the south in Temecula. Good evening, 66 for you. Here's the layout in the big picture. In the atmosphere, we have a low-pressure system that's moved away around the Four Corners area. And another trough low pressure, just a small one here, that's going to be moving in for tomorrow. Behind that is the warm-up for the weekend. High pressure that builds in. That's going to slide over us for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Will it be as hot as we saw last week? No, it won't, but it's still going to be kind of hot Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then a huge cool down in your 7-day, but for tonight at least, right about average, 64, spot on for LA in downtown, 59 Encino, 56 Simi Valley, 54 Thousand Oaks. A little bit of a chill, small chill in the morning to wake you up, and then highs tomorrow, right near average, 79 in Los Angeles, a little warmer as you head through the valleys, 86 Simi Valley, 88 Northridge, and then 87 in the IE, Ontario, 89 Riverside. Beautiful day, really nice day. Some morning cloud cover you'll have to push through and wait to burn off, especially at the coast, of course, with that marine layer in place. But look at this, 7-day forecast, a really sunny, dry, hot weekend ahead. Mid to upper 80s by Sunday and Monday for LA Metro and Orange County. And then next week, look at this, Wednesday, Thursday, down into the mid-70s for high temperatures. So we've got a little bit of a warm-up and then a big cool down next week. All right, Valleys, IE, 3 days of 90s for you, and then you are cooling down next Wednesday, Thursday into the 70s. So a hot weekend ahead for you, a little breezy as well. And then the mountains, I told you, cold later on. You got a few days in the 70s, just really nice in the afternoons. Very sunny, a little breezy on Sunday, and then there you go, 35 degrees to wake you up next Wednesday morning, and we're going with freezing next Thursday morning to wake you up, and then the high desert. All right, nice stuff. 90 degrees from tomorrow through Monday. The breeze is kicking in before the cool down happens next Wednesday and Thursday. All right, that's it for me. Dallas is going to have the latest on the forecast on ABC7 at 11.
All right, Jonathan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dodgers season didn't end the way the team or their fans wanted it to. Kurt Sandoval then sat down with the Dodgers skipper today to review the season and look ahead to next year.
Tying run at second. Go ahead, run at first. And a ground ball to second. One, flip. Game over. Series over. Cardinals win it.
Donnie, some fans are angry. Some fans are disappointed. Some fans are shocked. Where's Donnie baseball with this whole thing?
No, I think you go through all of that. I think you know, more than anything, is depressed. The season ends in St. Louis the other day. It's just a crash.
When you look back at it, is there anything you'd go, man, maybe I should have done this?
For me, the only one thing that I would do differently would be pitch to Molina with a right-hander and then go left-hander Elbert in Game 3.
How much did the postseason change for you as a manager because you didn't have your normal bullpen?
Bullpen is probably the toughest area to really predict how it's going to be year to year. A starter, you kind of know, you can tell the history, but bullpen guys, you use them because they're up and down guys and they get a lot more usage. You know, a good year one year may be part of the factor of having a rougher year the next year.
As you go in the off season and discuss with the front office what to do, you have great talent. How much emphasis will you put on team chemistry being the right guy and the right leaders in the clubhouse.
You know, I think our chemistry was really good. Honestly, at the end of the year, I think our guys were invested. I think our guys were all bought in. I think our guys felt like we were going to win.
The Dodgers last won the World Series back in 1988. It's also the last time they appeared in the Fall Classic.
A new pilot school opened last month in Boyle Heights, emphasizing science, technology, engineering, and math. 6 teachers developed the curriculum, and LA Unified School District officials approved it. Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth has a look at the program.
And then see how you have this back?
At this first-of-a-kind LAUSD High School in Boyle Heights, students are learning a lot more than just reading, writing, and arithmetic. In physics class, they worked on a special lesson today.
We're doing a project of projectile motion and trajectory. We're making a ramp and seeing that if a ball rolls down, if it'll continue like hitting the floor in the same place.
In engineering class, students worked on 3-dimensional modeling. You're looking at the STEM Academy of Boyle Heights. It opened this year, sharing a campus with Hollenbeck Middle School.
A school with a STEM focus can exist in the inner city and give students an option to have quality exposure to the field of engineering without having to be bussed out of the neighborhood.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. While the LA Unified School District gave its thumbs up for the pilot program, the teachers and principal here run the school as they see fit with no input from the district.
It was always my dream to come back to Boyle Heights, where I grew up, and start a program such as this.
To me, it just feels like it feels really needed. It just felt right. And it also the fact that the parents actually wanted the school.
I'm really interested in engineering. I put my son in this school. That's what I want for my son.
School officials say while they are starting with 62 students in 9th and 10th grade, they are confident the community will rally behind the school, bringing in more students so they can add more grade levels. They say the school is open to any student, no matter their background, as long as they come here with a lot of hope and determination.
We're like a family. If a child is struggling, we'll step up and help them. We'll try and find the resources they need to be successful. That's what we're about.
School officials want the community to know there will be a special public ceremony for the new school next Thursday at 4 in the afternoon. In Boyle Heights, Leo Stallworth, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Morning straight ahead here at 8:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. A neighborhood in shock when a well-known tattoo artist is gunned down in the streets. We'll have the latest on this investigation. Plus, Jeremy Renner takes on the role of a reporter in a new drama, Kill the Messenger. We'll hear what he has to say about his dangerous new role. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Thousands turned out for the 2014 Fall Classic hiring spree in East Hollywood today. The event took place at LA City College and offered more than 1,000 job openings with major employers. Job seekers say today's event is especially helpful during tough economic times.
I think it's actually a fantastic organization because any employer that has been unemployed, this is a big opportunity for anybody out there I'm actually unemployed and I'm here today to see if there's any openings.
This year's hiring spree is a collaboration between several agencies, including LA City College and the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services.
And thank you so much for joining us for Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56 Law and Order. SVU is next.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com.
And remember, you can get your news 24 hours a day by following us on Facebook and Twitter and by downloading our ABC7 app. See you tomorrow night right here on LA56. Have a great night.
Good night.